Okay, so in this video we will see next 5 question, that is from question number 71 to 75, and all the question related to the professional data engineer exam. So let's start. Question number 71. You are developing an application on Google Cloud that will automatically generate subject labels for users blog post. Okay, so we are creating some application on the Google Cloud, that is fine. What that application would, that will automatically generate subject label. So let's suppose user write some blog post. So there is a blog title, right? There is a blog title and blog content. So let's suppose user writes some blog post. That particular application will automatically generate the label of the subject. You are under competitive pressure, and to add this feature, so we need to add this feature, but we have no developer resource, and also we have no experience, no one in the team who has experience with the machine learning. So what should you do? So let's read the keywords, try to find the keyword. So one keyword is at the blog post, so something with the natural language processing, right? Other thing is that we don't have any team member who has experience with the machine learning, right? So if you look at the option, what should you do? So we have the 4 option. So we can easily eliminate option number C and option number D, because in the option number C told that build and train a text classifier, build and train a text classifier. So we will build and train the model only and only when we have someone in our team who is experienced, but we don't have any experience. So we can easily eliminate option number C and D. Now we have the 2 options, like option A and B. So option A and B both told that okay, we don't have anyone in the machine experience team member, but we will do is we have use the API which is already provided by the Google, that is the Cloud Natural Language API. So till this point option A and option B looks fine, we can use the API. So and process the generated entity analysis as label, and process the generated sentiment analysis as labels. So we need to automatically generate the subject labels, right? We don't want to do the sentiment analysis, right? Sentiment analysis, whether that blog post is has positive sentiment or the negative sentiment, we don't want it. We want to generate the subject label. So how we will generate the subject label? If we process the entity analysis. Entity analysis means let's suppose the user put some post. So the entities let's suppose user put some post related to the some topic which is related to the computer. So the entities are computer, it could be the software, it could be the hardware, and the other entities are technology. So these are the entity, and we want to generate subject labels. So option A is correct. So that is option A. If we go to the discussion tab, so most of the people say option A, even all the people say option A. So question number 72. You are designing storage for 20 terabyte of text file as part of deploying a data pipeline on Google Cloud. Okay, so keyword are we have to design some storage, and storage for 20 terabytes of text file as part of deploying a data pipeline on Google Cloud. Okay, your input data is in CSV format. Okay, so you want to minimize the cost. So keyword is we want to minimize the cost of querying, minimize the cost of querying aggregate values for multiple user who will query the data in cloud storage, with multiple engines. Which storage service and schema design should you use? Okay, let's read. So first thing is that use the cloud bigtable for storage. Okay, install the HBase shell on a compute engine instance to query the cloud bigtable data. So this is not a recommend way. First we store the data on the cloud bigtable for storage, because this is wrong. Because in the question, if you read, it is mentioned that the data will be stored on the cloud storage. So see, you want to minimize the cost of querying, so the query cost should be minimum, and the user who will query the data in cloud storage. So it is already mentioned that the data is exist in the cloud storage, right? So they told that use the cloud bigtable for storage, use the cloud bigtable for storage. So this is wrong. Option A and option B is wrong. Option C said that use cloud storage for storage, use cloud storage for storage. So option C and option D looks okay. Now read the rest statement. Link as permanent tables in BigQuery for query, link as temporary tables in BigQuery for query, and we want to minimize the cost for the different queries, and the same queries can be run with the multiple engines. So if we create the permanent table, if we create the temporary tables, if we create the temporary table, so every time we will have to run the query, we have to every time we will create the table. So if we create the permanent tables, so we can use the caching concept as well, right? So option C looks much relevant here, but they told option A doesn't look good to me. If we see, so most of the people say option C. Question number 73. You are designing storage. Again we are designing storage for 2 relational tables. Okay, so that is a relational table that are part of a 10 TB database. Okay, there is a 10 TB database. Okay, you want to support transaction data. Okay, that scale horizontally, so we need the scaling as well. Okay, you also want to optimize data for range queries on known key columns. That is, if there is a known key column, so if we run the query, it should be optimized. So what should you do? So we have 4 options. In the 2 option we have given Cloud SQL, in the other 2 option we have to give the Cloud Spanner, and here it is mentioned we need to scale it horizontally. So Cloud SQL is not horizontally scalable. So option A and option B we can easily eliminate. Now look at the option C and option D, that is the Cloud Spanner. So let me show you. So see, Cloud Spanner can be easily horizontally with minimal intervention. So we can scale horizontally the Cloud Spanner, but not the Cloud SQL. So option A and option B can be eliminated. Now option C and option D. So use Cloud Spanner. Okay, use Cloud Spanner, fine. Now the second part is you want to optimize data for range queries on known key columns. That is, there is a known key column like first name, last name, which have some duplicate data, right? And if we access those data, so there is no index, right? So we want to optimize the query. So how we will? So option C said that add the secondary index to support query patterns. Option D said that use cloud data flow to transform data to support query patterns. Option D is wrong. Why we use the cloud data flow to transform the data? We don't want to transform the data, right? We just want the data, but the data should be the query should be optimized, right? So what we will do is we will add the secondary index on the known key columns. So if we see the secondary index, so this is the secondary index and it is a part of the spanner and it's the official documentation. So it is mentioned that you can also create the secondary index for the other columns. Adding a secondary index on a column makes it more efficient to look at the data in that column, right? So option C is correct. So all the people say option C. Question number 74. Okay, your financial services company is moving to cloud technology and want to store 50 terabyte of financial time series table in the cloud. Okay, so the keyword is 50 TB and time series data. This data is updated frequently and new data will be streaming in all the time. Okay, your company also want to move their existing Apache Hadoop jobs to the cloud to get insight into this data. Okay, so we will get this data using our Apache Hadoop jobs. Which product should you use to store the data? So out of this option, in the cloud data store and the cloud storage, we generally we see as soon as I see this okay, we want to store the time series data, so the only option came in my mind is Cloud Bigtable, because Cloud Bigtable is used to store the large amount of data and that is generally used for the time series data. And along with that, like we have the Apache Hadoop job, so we can use the HBase storage, like HBase tool to access the data into the cloud table. So if I show you, 1 minute. So see, cloud big table is a low latency time series database, right? So for any time series database, like we generally use the cloud big table, time series database, right? So this is the official documentation. So, and here we also mentioned that we need to, what is happening, we need to store the time series data. So we will use the cloud big table, we will not use the cloud BigQuery, we will not use the cloud bucket, we will not use the data store. So option A is correct. So all the people say option A. So option A is correct because of time series and because of Apache Hadoop, because we can use the HBase to get the data from the big table, and HBase is related with the Apache Hadoop. So if you search on Google, so this is related with the Apache, right? Apache Hadoop is a scalable big data store. So Apache HBase was created based on the cloud big table. So both are interrelated, we can use this. Okay, so now question number 74 done. Yes, question number 75. Okay, an organization maintains a Google BigQuery dataset, okay, that contains table with user level data. Okay, so there is one organization which is maintaining a Google BigQuery, and the Google BigQuery we have dataset, and under the dataset we have tables, and that table contains the user level data. So it could be a user address, user account number, so user level data. They want to expose aggregates of this data to other Google Cloud projects. Okay, so under the organization there could be so many projects, right? And this data set resides in one project, let's suppose. So we want to expose the aggregates. Aggregates means, let's suppose we do some count operation, sum operation, right? So aggregate function. So we want to expose aggregates of the data. So let's suppose we run some aggregation query, and the result of this data we want to expose to some other projects, while still controlling access to the user level data. But we need to make sure that there should be some security level, we need to control the access. Additionally, they need to minimize the overall storage cost. So there are two things, one is access, other is we want to minimize the cost. Cost for other project is assigned to the, what should they do? Okay, so we have 4 option. So let's try to first eliminate the option, right? So create and share an authorized view that provide the aggregated result. Okay, they told that do one thing, create a authorized view. So we will just create an authorized view, and under the view whatever the aggregation query we want to run, we can do that. So that will work. Create and share a new data set and a view that provide the aggregated result. Okay, create and share a new data set that contains the aggregated result. So option C said that create and share a new data set and table. So if we create a new table, we have to bear some extra storage cost, right? But here we need to mention that we need to minimize the overall storage cost. So option C we can easily eliminate. And yeah, now option D is create data viewer. Okay, identity and access management role on the data set to enable sharing. So this is also wrong, because we need to control the table level access, right? Because the data stored in the tables, it contains so many tables, right? And they told that okay, we will like give the roles to the user on the data set is itself. So this is like not recommended. So option C and option D wrong. Option C is wrong because like it bears some extra cost. Now we have the option A and option B. Okay, so create and share an authorized view. So they told that so in this like there is no extra cost because we are just creating a view and we are authorizing the view, and under the view we will like perform the aggregated result. So this will definitely work. Everything is like getting satisfied. Create and share new dataset. So they told that in this just create a new dataset and view that provide the aggregate result, and we need to like put the view under the newly created dataset. So if we do that, this will also work, but A looks more relevant, but let's look at the solution. So they told D doesn't look good. Let's see the discussion tab. So few people say A. Okay, A. So most of the people say, but some people say B as well. Some people say B. So D is not correct. Some people say B. So some people say B. Okay, again they told B. Okay, so if we go to the official documentation, so actually both A and B not like proper, you can say, because here it is mentioned we need to create a new dataset and we need to like create a view under the dataset, but it is not mentioned like we will like create an authorized view, and in this it is mentioned that we will create an authorized view, but it is not mentioned that we will create a new dataset. Because if you go to the official documentation, if you want to create a authorized view, like giving a view access to the source dataset is also referred as a creating an authorized view. When you create an authorized view, we need to follow this step, right? We need to first create a separate dataset, we need to create a view in that dataset, and then we need to like authorize the dataset and the particular view. So here they have mentioned okay, we will create a view and we will authorize it, and but the new dataset which is required, that is like not mentioned here in option number A. In option number C, they told that okay, create a dataset and create a view in the dataset, but what about the access? So access is like not mentioned. So A and B both doesn't look good, but option should be out of A and B. So I think it's good to go with the A, because here it is mentioned we have to create the authorized view, there provide the aggregated result. Yeah, so it's up to you like whether you will want to go with the A and B. Even I was not sure like whether like we should select A or B, because both A and B looks like incomplete, because in the A it is not mentioned we need to create a new dataset, and even like if you go to the official documentation, it is clearly mentioned here we need to create a separate dataset to store the view. So but here it is mentioned okay, create a separate dataset and create a view, but what about the access, right? It is not mentioned that we need to give the access on the dataset and we need to give the access on the view. Nothing is mentioned. If it is mentioned here okay, we need to give the access, then option B is correct. Or even if option number A it is mentioned that we need to create a dataset and then do all these things, then option A correct. But now both looks incomplete. So you can search once or you can tell me like what could be the like the most suitable here. So I think like it could be A, because the main thing is we need to control the access and to minimize the cost. So nothing is like discussed here about the access, but some access thing is like discussed here. So I think I will go with the A. Okay, so yeah, so that's the end of the video.